All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Thursday, Thursday, April 13th, 2023. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I just checked how much subscribers we have. We have 8,591. Still trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. So if you guys can help me out by pressing that subscribe button or sharing with people who you might know that may like these videos. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures up 71 points, NASDAQ up 74, S&P 500 futures is up about 0.35% this morning at 41.33. Russell's up 0.54%, 1794. Oil futures are down 0.56%, even though we had some OPEC commentary. I'm always confused with OPEX and OPEC. OPEX, which is options expiry, contracts expiry, is next week. OPEC spoke today. Sorry. Gasoline futures down about 1.5%. That's even with the dollar being down, and we have that chart here. The dollar is down about 0.5%, now below 101. Didn't we say by the end of the first half we would break that $100 level? Now we're starting to cook. What does this mean for the dollar? What does this mean? It means that crypto's going to go higher. Ethereum is above 2,000. Bitcoin's going to go higher. Commodities are going to go higher. And Forex, foreign currencies. We went long euro dollar as well. I'll go over that here in a second. We did that last night. Gold futures up 1.7%. The dollar is going to help that as well, 20.59. Silver futures 25.97, up 2%. Copper futures up 1.32%. We know how that's important in terms of the S&P analog. How about the dollar yen? 132.45, down 67 pips. We are long euro dollar. We got in at 110 last night on a limit order. We are up now 54 pips right now. Excellent. Haven't moved the stop yet to break even. I'm waiting for a little more, and we'll go over that with the Discord in a second. Bitcoin futures 30,565. We know our target is 35,000. And in terms of Ethereum, we'll go ahead and take a look here in a second. Let's take a look at the dollar. That's probably the most important thing. You can see that we're now breaking down below 101. Hey, good morning, Gastaldi. Thanks for joining me this morning. Let me go ahead and put this tweet up. Dollar is now breaking down below 101. Here's our target now, guys, 98.95. That's our main target, but we do have this 100 MA here on the weekly chart. So let's place an alert there. If we start getting close to there, maybe you want to start getting out of your longs, if not getting out of your euro longs or anything like that. I did have a TP for 112 on euro dollar for a swing, but again, I want my guys to go ahead and get profits too. So we'll probably take that before we get to 100.35 on the dollar index. But again, we expect a lower dollar, lower yields, lower inflation. So far, check, check, check. And that's been working out for our thesis for this year. Is it an investable market yet? No, not as of yet. We're still waiting, Pat. This is a trader's market still. You're still in a big range on the S&P 500, really since last April. You could see it here, right here. This is where we came from. April 25th, here we are. We've been stuck in this range between 42.44, 42.50 to right around 3,600, with the lows being 3,500. So again, nothing to get too excited about, at least on equities. We still need to get above 4,200 ES. If we get there, we'll go ahead and see what we do next. But as of right now, we're just watching that dollar and playing the charts with it. I went ahead and if you guys remember, I talked about this yesterday. I did Mara with Masterclass, the $10 calls. Those are in the money for next week. I also filled in the Mara 11 calls for our members, and we're holding those for next week. We also played QQQ yesterday on a great reversal play. We played this bounce here. Actually, it was right here, this bounce. We got this pop yesterday on Wednesday. We got as high as 316.78. We had 320 calls, and then we fell down. But we took it for right around 34%. Got as high as around 42. Again, an excellent snipe. That was pure technicals. That was pure momentum, and it was a quick one. Well done. I'm so glad that we got to catch that one. If you are holding QQQ runners or you're holding Qs still, again, we're getting a little bit of a bounce now. If you have those 320s, you're really looking to get to 317.19 and get out of there if you still have them. But we closed those Qs, so that's done with. Let's go to Apple. That's a stock that I was watching for and looking to see if there's any kind of action. really not much of alerts out there. So again, we kind of have to kind of get out of our usual way of doing things. Again, if we know the dollar is going down, let's look for some commodities. We're looking for some other plays to take advantage of that weakness. Mara being a Bitcoin proxy, we know that. We know that being bullish Bitcoin would be short the dollar. We want to be short the dollar. We want to be long Bitcoin as it is a commodity or crypto, whatever you want to call it, either one. But again, we're looking for other avenues, whether it's futures, whether it's Forex, whether it's trading Mara. Again, it doesn't have to be Apple, AMD every day. Again, it's the job of the trader to take a look at what other avenues they can trade with by using their thesis. That's what makes a good trader to me, is to find the other ways and other avenues to make money. It doesn't have to be buying call options only. It could be writing call options. It could be writing puts. It could be buying Forex, or trading Forex. It could be trading commodities, futures. It could be trading stocks itself. Again, it just depends on the person and what they want to do. But we're starting to see futures pick up a little bit here as the dollar is weakening, starting to bounce a little bit. Let's take a look at the euro dollar together. 110.46. We got in at 110. Was our limit order. I moved the stop to 10.95. Let me make sure I get that right. Where was the stop now? The stop now on that Forex trade is 109.80. So we can move it to 110 at break even or have 20 pips as a stop. I think I'm going to keep it where it is in terms of the stop. Again, I don't want us to just start testing below this 20 MA and then we get stopped out. I'd rather give it a little bit of room, but again, we're getting a lot of momentum with the dollar being weakened. You can see on the weekly chart, we are now above the 100 moving average on the weekly. We're targeting 111.94, which is right around 112. That's the level we're looking for. That's the 200 weekly moving average. That'll be our target for the euro. Again, if we get 100 pips, I don't think we're going to be upset. We'll probably just take it. That's a really great Forex trade. So let's see if we can squeeze a little more juice here. We could always take it for 50. I'll give the guys the option, as always, ahead of the bell, the open of the stock market. But other than that, we did have some PPI numbers this morning. PPI final demand came in negative 0.5% month over month, estimated 0.00. So again, a negative reading. Excluding food and gas, negative 0.1%, estimated was 0.2%. Final demand, 2.7% PPI versus the estimate of 3%, and the PPI excluding food and energy year over year, 3.4%. So we're starting to see inflation roll over. Again, it's still relatively high, but we're expecting it to go lower with the thesis of the weaker dollar and lower yields. Let's go to yields this time, 10-year yields. You're starting to see a little bit of weakness here. Let's go bring up the daily. Really, the level we're trying to get is below 32, which is 3.143%. That's your next support. There's a gap to fill right here. So again, that's just on TNX. It doesn't have to fill, but usually does. I'm going to go ahead and circle it here as that gap fill. Let me clear these out here. So yesterday, all we did was QQQ. I didn't do a video last night for the team just for the simple fact that we have PPI overnight. Wasn't really expecting much until we actually got some alerts, and we didn't. The only alert that I got was the euro dollar last night. But other than that, really waiting for that 4150 level on ES to pop. If we can get above 4170, we'll take a look at 4200. But as of right now, there really isn't much to do at this very juncture. Again, we'll keep an eye on our Mara trade. We'll keep an eye on our euro dollar trade. And we'll see where we go from there, guys. We'll see if we get any opportunities in futures. Other than that, guys, even for an April, it's been relatively quiet, kind of choppy. Still trying to find some direction. 4200 being really, really big resistance on ES. That's kind of the level we need to break. April seasonality is strong. We know this, but again, we're gonna have to play it day by day because all we're doing is staying within a range. So we will see what we get moving forward. Pretty quiet one today, guys. Not a lot of action, but again, we'll do our best to profit from it. At least we got one trade this week, which was Q's. I got one for Masterclass for Mara on the 10s. So far, Forex got the euro dollar. And for futures, we got stopped out, I believe. What did we get hit that? I didn't fill that one, but I think we got to 41.29. Yeah, we got to 41.11. That stopped out on ES, but we'll make that back. That's not a problem. We got in at 41.53, got out 41.29. I would have kept the stop a little wider than that personally, but I like what Kevin did on that trade. He wanted to know if he were wrong right away. So, you know, all we got to do is just make that back. It wasn't a terrible loss. I think it was right around 14 handles, 24, not even 30, 23, about 23 handles. Not the worst thing in the world. We could do better than that. We'll make that back. At least euro dollar we'll try to. But again, my eyes are on the dollar this morning. In terms of crude, guys, 85 is the level we need to break. But other than that, seems to be that we're just testing more and more MAs. Look at Qs, kind of just chilling here, rejecting that 51-hour MA. Same with the S&P 500 futures. Let's see if the euro can give us a little bit more room, get us to 111.86. That should get us to, in terms of the analogy with the analog with ES, that should get us to around 41.70. Maybe give us some decisions to get to the push. Let's go over some names that I want to keep an eye on for the week. Next week, this Friday we have earnings. So bank earnings this week. I think I want to say Bank of America, JPM report. So let's go ahead and chart JPM together. JPM on the weekly hitting some support. We're right below the 129.10. We're right above the 200 weekly MA, kind of holding that support there. Let's take a look at the daily. Again, I expect the implied volatility to be rather high, but not too high because it is a bank. So not much edge here in terms of JPM. If you start getting a pop, maybe you want to trade it before the number, but I think I'd skip this one. There really isn't much edge here. Another one is Netflix. Netflix reports next week. So maybe we can keep an eye on what's the next trade for this one. Let's go to the daily. Did we fill this gap? We did not. We do have a gap to fill at 350. We could play that gap to fill. Last time we did. It did not work out, but here's a gap here. There's no gaps below. I'll be keeping an eye on Netflix here and see if we can get this kind of move and see if we can catch 350. The question is, how will we get there? We're right now at 340. So again, just a $10 move. Let's see if we can retest this 50 MA on the daily, which is that pretty much that gap to fill. If we can get back down and hold it here, maybe we'll go ahead and take a look at 350 calls. They may be a little expensive because of the IV due to earnings next week. But again, we'll just keep an eye as we go. I'll place an alert here at the support level on the daily and go from there. Let's take a look at the banks. Back to Citi. Let's go to the daily. Not much there. There is a gap to fill at 45.23. So again, I don't want to go long there, but I don't want to go short either. Again, a lot of bad news is baked into these banks as well. Everyone's pretty much shorted in terms of hedge funds. So that's what we got in earnings. But again, earnings is starting to pick up into next week. DAL reported their earnings. That's Delta Airlines. They did beat on earnings. They are up this morning. Not huge, but again, rejecting 35. If you do break above 35.23, remember the earnings are already in. American Airlines already had their guidance. We really don't have much in terms of risk on that end. It would be a nice little breakout. So let's see on the daily here. We got a little above 35.24. We don't have any gaps to fill. But again, we could possibly target maybe the 36.5 strike, maybe the 36, but we need to get above 35 first. If we get above 35, then we got all of this here, this next range above to play. This looked like a head and shoulders. We should roll over. So again, let's see if we break above below 32. Maybe Delta does roll over and then we could play some shorts. But again, we need to see if we either break 35 or 32. And if we break 32, then we can start taking a look at the 31s for puts. But I think Delta Airlines may be looking like a good technical setup either way, just depending on how the market moves. So we'll play it by then. We'll see how we go at the end of the day. Have a great trading Thursday. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note. Keeping an eye on that euro dollar. Let's see if we can get to 111 by the end of the day. Have a great rest of your morning. Cheers.